the reality is Ugandans are young and young. I'm talking real young. This is the youngest country on earth. 90% under the age of 40. And they're active, they're fit, they walk to work, they do hard work for a living. They're out in the sunshine, which is giving their body vitamin D, and vitamin D is what they give you as medicine when you get COVID, right? Sunshine is a medicine, right? And the Ugandans are walking in medicine all day long. Yeah.
So you said COVID is a lifestyle disease. Where'd that come from?
How did I realize COVID was a lifestyle disease? I think I knew it long ago. I didn't have that phrase.
Right.
I think the phrase hit me recently, but I think I immediately knew it because we saw the data that had come out of Italy and South Korea, and it was published in the mass media. I read about it in Bloomberg, even here in Uganda, that 99% of all the people who were dying were basically at maximum life expectancy for their country, and they, 99% of them had comorbidities, even of the people under the maximum age expectancy. And the cofactors or comorbidities, as they're called, morbid, like being death, right? So the things that are more likely to make, it's no guarantee, right? It's a disease that doesn't kill very many people, percentage-wise, anywhere. Let's be real. It's a lot worse than flu, definitely. In the rich world, it definitely kills 3 times as many people as flu does. So it's more serious than flu. It's no joke. But what we knew right away is that if you were obese, if you suffered from anxiety and fear disorders, if you had diabetes with complications, if you had high blood pressure, if you were autoimmune or immune compromised, and that may mean because of HIV, or it could be getting cancer treatments that are destroying your bone marrow, or radiation therapy does that too, or you've got an organ transplant. So all those people are in the category of those that are at risk, right? Now, some of those folks can't help it. Whatever their genetics, their life, they're already in a situation that can't really change, but a lot of other people can, especially when you see that obesity and anxiety are number 1 and number 2 for risk of being in the hospital and being dead. And so I thought about that at the very beginning, and I looked at Uganda because that's where I live, and I go, okay, well, how many people are older than the average life expectancy, which is 65 here. And there's only 2% of the population over 65. So I'm like, all right, we're not going to have a genocide here. We just have too few people that even fit into the age category. And then this is the youngest country on earth, right? And half the country's under 16, and 90% is under 40. So really the ones most at risk are between 40 and up, but if they are overweight, if they're drinking lots of sugar and alcohol or soda or whatever, and they're sitting on their butts and they're watching CNN or NTV or NBS or any of the local news, reading or watching really scary stuff, or they're on social media getting scared. So if you're fat, you're sitting around and you're getting scared, you're at risk. And so in Uganda, we don't have very many fat people. You know, it's a really fit country, and the people who can afford to, stuff their faces and drive cars to work and sit in air-conditioned offices and, go back home and, sit around some more and watch TV and eat late at night. That's not a large percentage of the population. So, and you see it. I live adjacent to a really poor working class neighborhood, and I walk through the neighborhood almost every day, and I'll, especially since I've been trying to deal with my own, my own weaknesses, because I was super obese. So when I thought about my situation being here in Uganda as who I am, and my situation, knowing that I was very obese at the time, and that I can't help but absorb all the anxiety and fear from my old friends in America and Canada and around the world, and so I'm often trying to fight against their fears so that I don't, because I absorb their fears about everything. And even though I'm far away, and it gives me a lot of freedom to think differently, and that's why I'm doing this show anyways, is because I'm far away in a different place, and I've learned new things about myself and the world. And so I'm in a country with a, it's not a bad healthcare system, but it's not, it's not strong to handle a real disaster right now. And so I figured, what can I do to help myself? And when I was looking at the data out of Italy and South Korea, that 99% of the people who died had comorbidities. That means like cofactors, either overweight or diabetic or PTSD, anxiety disorders, high blood pressure, autoimmunity. And I'm going, well, I fit some of those. That's not good. And I didn't do anything about it. In fact, I got worse at first because we went under lockdown, and I lost my job, and I was depressed, and I got bigger. I even added more weight, became more obese, and I just started realizing I have to do something because I got vaccinated eventually, but before then I was like, I better do something, and so I just I've dropped 30 kilograms in the last several months, so now I'm at a less unreasonable weight and feel like I'm not on the prey list of the virus now. And so I've been, my whole thing is, what can I do to help myself be stronger so I can survive this? And I've seen really quite clearly that it's a lifestyle disease. It's the middle class and people who have, are overweight and
so
who aren't very
active. A local ventilator?
What's that?
You've been made a local.
Yeah, I got connected up with a Ugandan engineer, and he's the one who did all the work. I kind of laid out the general plan for us to go low tech. And I was like, look, let's just get something out of the 1950s or 60s going. Can we just build literally a contraption? I don't want it to be slick. I want it to be something that anybody who has even halfway decent knowledge of how a motorcycle or car or bicycle works could take junk from their neighborhood and make one. Because I realized if you're going to wait for the government to save your life and buy $50,000 pieces of equipment, it's like, this is not what we really can. If we really are going to face a disaster here, we need every smart kid in every little village and slum in the country to be able to put this together. So that was kind of my attitude. I mean, I decided, I'm Mr. High Tech, right? I mean, I spent my whole life in the clouds. I built software to analyze the invisible. So I think that may be even one of the reasons why I needed to come to be here in a place more grounded on reality, since I was, this father of bioinformatics. And then it turns out now we're in a crisis that bioinformatics is at the center of. And so it turns out I have something relevant to contribute just because I'm here. By June of this year, I had concluded that at least half of the people of Kampala had already gotten sick and recovered and were immune to COVID. And funny enough, I read in a newspaper that comes out of Kenya, the East African, one of the top people of the Ministry of Health of Uganda, Dr. Musonero, she said, you pick any 5 Ugandans, and 2 of them at least have already been infected and have recovered.